Le Mans Ultimate has even more to give now than it did until now. That and more right here, right now. This video is dedicated to the memory of two musical geniuses who died this past week, Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys and Sylvester "Sly" Stone. Of the two, in my opinion, Sly was the most influential, as the music he did with his band, Sly and the Family Stone, has left an indelible mark on funk, hip-hop and R&B, and through them, on oh so many other music styles and musicians. Whenever you hear, know that's them. In any case, both Brian's and Sly's music is for sure part of the eternal flow of good vibrations. Greetings Romy, you're watching WromWrom, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing and a regular news roundup or weekly sim racing news. Thanks to all those who come here often, especially those who subscribe and even more our patrons. My name is Serta and I will be your host for this video. At last, things are taking pace in sim racing and adjacent once again. Le Mans Ultimate will deservedly leave early access soon, and NASCAR 25 has a release date which is as nebulous as the answer to is it more a sim or more a game given to us. You don't know what I'm talking about? Watch the video. In a Q&A session on the NASCAR Discord, Matt Lewis, producer of the game, let us know a bit about what's coming. Asked what kind of game this will be, if it's gonna be a sim or rather a racing game, he was kinda of two opinions. While on the one hand, he was saying it would have the accuracy and physics of iRacing and will have wheel support, he on the other hand repeatedly said this was not going to be iRacing for consoles. Guess we'll find out soon enough, because NASCAR 25 will be released around September or October of this year, with the exact date being settled end of June. Unluckily, DLCs will mostly be paint jobs. Seems there's money in that, although we are not really interested in those. And for you console cowboys, there will be no versions for older consoles, only for the newest ones. That said, seems consoles are the main focus of NASCAR 25, as he repeatedly was speaking about this being a game for consoles and kinda ignoring the PC market. Multiplayer grids are expected to be possible for up to 40 drivers, you will be able to fill the multiplayer races with AI drivers, and you will be able to host your own NASCAR 25 server. Mind you, there are no plans for crossplay, at least not for now. He left it open if they would be able to bring crossplay into the game in the future. No big surprises on the career mode, it's gonna be the known rags to riches trope we've seen over and over again. And it seems there will be a ton and a half of cutscenes, the most important thing in a racing game, as we all know. And similar to what one of the F1 games had, I think it was F1 21, but don't quote me on that, you will be able to make decisions on what to focus on, which will influence details of your career. Something like you can earn so much needed money doing X or become faster after doing Y. Also, the game will have all 4 national NASCAR series, which you can race concurrently if you are so inclined. Renato Simeoni, boss of Reza, gave us some more glimpses of what is planned for Automobilista 2 with regards to the NPC drivers, which we normally call the AI. For one, he's made clear they won't try to do something like Sophie in GT7, as using human driving logic in the AI in Automobilista 2, and we suppose any other racing sim, is not a thing that would work, not to speak of how resource intensive such a system would be. Also, he addressed the issues the AI has on dirt tracks, as the extreme variability of those makes it very difficult to program for, and the AIs tend to either be too careful or lose control easily. Reza planned to work on it at some point in the future, but not right now. RaceRoom will let you drive the Mazda RT24P DPI and Watkins Glen for free until June 26th. Also, they've announced they are going to bring the Alfa Romeo 156 and the Opel Vectra to the Super Touring Car grid in the Q2 2025 update. iRacing had a tiny update now, allowing drivers to join ranked official events more than once, updating the setups of the NASCAR Cup Series Gen 7 and making it possible to load the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Project Motor Racing has announced Kyalami as yet another track they bring to the sim, a favorite of mine. If you like what you see, how about supporting us? A like and a comment to tell the almighty algorithm we are worth watching are a good start. Subscribing is even better, and what really helps us grow is you becoming a patron, as YouTube's income is tiny for a sim racing channels. Patrons get access to exclusive content and are involved in our decision. Help us grow with your support, help us keep spreading the joy of sim racing. Become a patron today. Big news for Le Mans Ultimate this week. Of course, they dropped the update this week we talked about last week, see the link up there, but there's more. At last, LMU is leaving early access. This will happen on the 22nd of July, and yes, we also think LMU has reached maturity and can be called 1.0. As we know, the WEC 2024 has been completed, as much as possible that is, and with the July update they promise to deliver the Mercedes AMG LMGT3 Evo as well as the Aston Martin Valkyrie. And even better, these cars will be available for free as soon as the update drops. Same goes for the 2025 liveries. Something else which will bring joy to some of you, or of us I should say, is that they are working on a single-player career mode within Le Mans Ultimate and possibly release it sooner than Reza. While I would have loved something like a team career mode where you hand over the keys to the car to your buddies in an endurance career, I realize this is exponentially more difficult to make and to make right. Now, they are wisely not saying when the career mode will arrive, just offering a tentative release date of Q1 2026. They are working on it and it will be ready when it's ready, but they are definitely working on it. They also announced they will be including the European Le Mans series in the sim soon. They'll have to add a couple of tracks to the list, of course, as well as some cars, but they've done the basic work already. This, of course, will not only bring Barcelona and Silverstone, and sadly also Paul Ricard, but also the LMP3 cars. I know some of you had hoped for IMSA, but maybe Reza closed the door on that? Add it to the new content and all else we told you last week was coming. This week, with the update, the developers have changed the behavior when bringing the car to the garage to keeping the tires you have on instead of always putting new tires. Best sector reports should be accurate now, and any car that DNFs is now moved to the bottom of the classification below anybody who finished the race. There's also been a ton of HUD refinements, mostly having to do with lap times and best lap times. The force feedback got refined and should be a bit more detailed. And if we understand it correctly, you won't be able to file a protest until 2 hours after the race, as they say, to allow you all to reflect, and I'd say they are right with this one. Also, PXN users will now find a default controller profile waiting for them in the sim. Oh, and the list of small updates made to all tracks is so extensive, we don't want to bore you with it, so if you are interested in the nitty-gritty details, follow the link in our description for the extensive release notes. Same goes for the updates of the cars, and yes, the tires of the LMGT3s have been worked upon, as we said last week.